want to welcome you to this week's Freshman 15 conversation. Each week this fall, we want to provide you with tips enabling you to achieve success academically and personally. Today, I'm excited to have as our guest David Duffy, who has a personal connection with Tarrant County College. David, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys, David Duffy here. Really excited to be with you today. Just wanted to introduce myself to you. If you don't know who I am a couple of things significant to TCC. One, I'm a former student. I have my associate's degree from Tarrant County College. Way to go. The second thing is that I'm the founding pastor of TCC Chi Alpha. And with that, my wife, Stephanie, helps lead that organization. And we're just so connected in reaching students. And if you're not a part of it, you should be a part of it because it is a great community to stay connected to God. I did business for 25 separate years doing multi-level management and really have a strong background in that. Really leading leaders and developing the next generation is really my passion and my heart, and what God has called me to do. So I am super excited to be here. Thanks, Stephen, for inviting me on to your chat today, and hopefully I can say something worthwhile.
Today, we want to look at the importance of managing your schedules. Normally, we define this as time management, but you have a very interesting response to this, David. Unpack this for us.
Time management is a misnomer. I know they've written thousands of books on it, and you've probably sat in lectures where they talked about time management and told you that that's what's necessary to be successful in the world today, is that time management is the key element for you to do everything. I want you to know that there's no way that can happen because time management does not exist. We all have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year, 60 seconds in a minute, and you're not managing that time. Time is a limited capacity, availability. Everyone gets the same thing, whether you're Bill Gates or whether you're a student who's just graduating high school. It is the only limited resource that we have. Money, there's plenty of, and you can always gain more of that. People, you can gain more of those in your life. Jobs, you can get greater capacity, promotions at your job, but you can't get more time. We already take a third of that and set that aside for sleeping. Think about that, how much you don't manage time, that time manages you. When you're tired, you go to sleep. When you're hungry, you take time to eat. The trick is that you're not managing that time. It's what you do with that time. What do you personally do with that time? And I know that's countercultural, but that's the truth.
Since time is outside of our control, what can we do to manage ourselves and keep our schedules under control?
The first part of self-management is really to understand that it's really about your priority listings. And so priorities are important. And if you don't know what priorities they need to go, I'm going to kind of give you a framework to really work in so that you understand that your first priority in the time that you have available is really your relationship with God. God is your number one priority. And this is something that's going to set a foundation. And whether that priority shows up in setting a devotional time a day, the first 15 minutes of your day, the last 15 minutes of your day, your Bible reading, whatever you want to call that time, that's a time in the day you give him, right? So on your schedule, you're going to take a portion of that time and give that to God every day. And then as your week goes on, you're going to take a day that's devoted to you getting yourself in a personal relationship with God and maintaining that. God really, the Christianity is really about him being your friend, right? And your friend you spend time with. So your first thing is that you need to prioritize God in your schedule. That's going to be the heart of that. The second thing is, if you're married or in a committed relationship of some type, then your second responsibility is going to be your spouse. It is the only relationship that is as close to God as you are. Matter of fact, by performing in a marriage, it's you, God, and your spouse. You're able to do that, and you need to share uninhibited in that relationship with God and your spouse. And God ordains that in order that way. The next thing is, but the truth is that children actually come after the spouse. That's the way God set it up. And then from there, we talk about our relationship to church or church community or Christian community, that's something that we want to make a part of our week, whether that's Sunday. That day can be flexible. It's about you finding the day and setting aside the time, right? So church is one of those things that you want to be a part of, being in community. Next, after that, after all those things comes your job, right? And I say that and wholeheartedly. I used to write schedules for a living. I will tell you, if you tell me you need Sundays and Wednesdays off, or Tuesday Bible study night off, or whatever you need, if you give me that, but you're willing to give me 5 days of full working as a scheduler, I'm going to love you. As long as you show up for your 5 and do your thing, that's what matters. I will build a schedule around you. Don't be afraid of asking your boss for those things. It's one of the things that I would say I didn't set correct in priorities in my life growing up, just from the pressures that were in my job. So those are things that I just encourage students, people now, to just set that priority, set where you're going to put God in your thing, and then let your work schedule fill in around that. After that, then comes your hobbies. Maybe you like to skateboard or surf or do whatever, definitely have some hobby time, get those in there. And then here's the kicker. After that comes your extended family, right? So we've talked about your spouse and children, but then, so after your hobbies, right? After you've reached your fulfillment, then you have time for your extended family, your auntie and your uncle and your people. These are the things now these are people who are going to ask for your time and ask for your resources, but you need to know that you're able to give them to them, but after your priorities are set in line. And then after that comes your friends, right? And I know that's sad because some of us have like my best friend, my BFF, he's the one, she's the one, and they get all my time, but man, they can't be ranked above your spouse, above your children, above your relationship to church, your job. These are things that you get to do additionally after that. So as we look at managing ourself in time, that is where we're going to have to put those priority lists. So I'll just kind of go through them real quick again, so you kind of have them, that it's God, spouse, children, church, job, hobbies, extended family, and then friends. All right. And if you do those 8 things in that priority, those will help you set up your time and your week in a way that's effective for your Christian life and for your life in general.
So as students, where would our academic responsibilities fit into this ranking of priorities?
Right now, your main job may be that you are in school, that this is what's going to give you a better future, set yourself up for the next one. This is your main priority in that. And that goes into the job category. And school, man, I want you all to finish school. There's not a person here that I am not rooting for you in every class, and to make sure that you just get those check marks done and that those classes done so that you can have a better future or open things up. But remember where it is on your priority list.
This is great information. I just have a few follow-up questions for you. First, I don't know about everyone else, but my to-do list usually gets really long. So how do we narrow down these lists into something manageable?
What I encourage people to do when they hit that statement is to really sit down, focus every day, and write down the 3 most important things that need to happen in that day. So it may be stuff that you don't want to do. It may be stuff that is not the funnest thing to do. So you're going to write these 3 things down, and you're going to say, okay, this is my priority list for today. And then what I want you to do is take your pen one more time, put it in your hand, and then I want you to cross off the bottom 2 things. When we have even a 3 priority list, we go for the easiest one, or we go for the less hassle, or the least conflicting one, and we try to knock out those. But honestly, if you really spend your day and knock out one thing every day, your list tomorrow has less on it. So take the first thing, no matter what your priority list is, knock out the first thing. If you do that in a day, good job, man. You're really accomplishing something, and you're headed in the right direction, and you're going to begin to make baby steps toward the overall goal.
Final question. How can we keep our priorities in focus as the demands of work and family and college begin to pile up?
In order to keep track of yourself, what you really need to do is to live 30 days out, because it keeps you on track. So start out with the simple things. Put your schedule on there. Put your school schedule on there. Map out your day, and then the other times that you have, you need to be honest with other people about where they can fit in. I want to encourage you, learn how to say no, because people are going to challenge your schedule. And you know what? As your priorities are there, you're going to have to make adjustments to that schedule. Again, it's not set in stone, but for the most part, if it's just a relational time, just because someone else has an urgent need doesn't mean that you now have to reorganize your life to meet their urgent need. You don't even have to tell them all the details. You can just say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do it right now.
David, thank you for your continued investments in the Trinity River campus and for helping us see the importance of setting priorities and managing our lives. I want to thank everyone who joined us this week for Freshman 15. We want to hear from you. your response to this topic or suggestions for future topics. Until next week, remember, you're not alone. And when you feel stretched, it just means you're learning. Before we go, David, is there any final thought you would like to share with the students who are watching?
I'm for you. We're all for you. And we want you to have the most successful year possible. And we're going to be standing right beside you the whole way. God bless you. And I love you guys. Thanks for having me.